Welcome everyone to this fascinating journey into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures, where today we are diving deep into the story of the 1971 1-cent coin that has shocked the numismatic world by being valued at an incredible $5 million because of its unique errors and mistakes, which make it one of the most extraordinary and valuable coins in history. And as we explore this unbelievable tale, I invite you to stay engaged, because what seems like an ordinary penny can actually be worth a fortune, and the reasons behind it are both intriguing and educational, showing us how tiny details in minting can lead to massive historical and financial significance. So let us begin by imagining the year 1971, when millions of pennies were minted by the United States Mint with the iconic Lincoln design, but hidden among the ordinary circulation coins were a select few that carried mistakes so rare that collectors today consider them priceless treasures, and one of these is the legendary 1971 penny, worth $5 million because of the errors that make it unique from the rest of its counterparts. Now, errors in coins can happen due to a variety of reasons, ranging from misaligned dies to doubling, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, variations in metal composition, die cracks, clipped planchets, broad strikes, or even transitional errors. And when these occur, they produce coins that deviate from the norm, making them instantly recognizable to trained collectors, and in some cases so rare that they achieve values beyond imagination. And the 1971 penny is a perfect example of this phenomenon, because several varieties exist, including the famous 1971 double die obverse penny, which shows dramatic doubling on the date, and inscriptions like Liberty and I in God We Trust that is visible to the naked eye and makes the coin extremely valuable. But beyond the known double die, there are other error variations, such as off-center strikes where part of the design is missing due to a misalignment during minting, coins struck on leftover planchets from previous years with different metal content, or even those struck with die cracks, creating raised lines across the surface which add to the uniqueness and desirability. And when you consider that errors like these are not mass-produced but rather accidental, one-of-a-kind outcomes, the rarity becomes clear, and rarity is the cornerstone of value in coin collecting. So when a coin like the 1971 penny combines rarity, error, uniqueness, historical importance, and collector demand, it naturally skyrockets in price. And in auctions or private sales, stories emerge of collectors competing fiercely to own such a piece, driving its value higher and higher until the price tag reaches unbelievable numbers like $5 million. Now, the average person may wonder how such a small copper coin, originally worth only 1 cent, could possibly sell for millions, but the truth lies in how coin collecting works, because it is not the face value of the coin that matters, but rather the combination of rarity, condition, demand, and story behind it. And the 1971 penny offers all of these qualities rolled into one package. And when one of these extraordinary pieces appears in pristine mint state condition without scratches or circulation, where the desirability multiplies even further, because high-grade coins are exponentially rarer and considered museum-quality specimens. And it is this convergence of rarity, historical context, minting errors, and condition that makes the 1971 penny a $1 million marvel, worth more than luxury houses, cars, or even gold bars of similar size. And when we explore the errors in more detail, we realize how fascinating the minting process truly is, because each error tells a story of what went wrong at the mint, and how that mistake survived quality control and entered circulation, where it might have passed unnoticed from hand to hand before a sharp-eyed collector or dealer spotted the anomaly and rescued it from obscurity to reveal its hidden fortune. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that millions of others carry in their pockets every day, yet yours has a tiny doubling or a clipped edge or a misstrike that makes it 1 in a billion, and suddenly you are holding not just change but history, art, rarity, and wealth combined into a small piece of copper and zinc. This is the magic of numismatics, and why collectors around the world are willing to pay astonishing amounts for error coins like the 1971 penny. And the possibilities that exist within that year are many. For example, transitional errors, where coins may have been struck on leftover planchets from 1970, or experimental metal mixes leading to unusual coloration or weight differences, and such coins stand out when weighed or examined carefully. Another possibility includes broad strike errors, where the coin expands beyond normal boundaries due to the absence of the collar during striking, giving the penny an odd, oversized appearance. And then there are die cap errors where a coin sticks to the die and impresses its distorted image onto subsequent planchets, creating bizarre and collectible pieces, or even double strike errors where the coin receives two impressions from the die, resulting in overlapping and misplaced designs, and all of these variations add layers of fascination for collectors, and when combined with the date 1971, a year that produced several recognized doubled die varieties, the stage was set for the emergence of a legendary multimillion-dollar penny. And what adds even more intrigue is how these coins sometimes remain hidden in plain sight inside old jars of pennies, tucked in drawers, or passed down through generations without anyone realizing their true worth until one day they are discovered and authenticated by experts, and suddenly a humble penny becomes life-changing money for its owner. And this possibility keeps collectors constantly checking their change, searching coin rolls from banks, and studying details under magnification in hopes of finding the next great discovery, because the numismatic world is full of stories of lucky finds where people stumbled upon a fortune in pocket change, and the 1971 penny worth $5 million represents the pinnacle of such finds. So as we continue to imagine the errors that make this coin special, let us not forget the human element, because behind every valuable coin is a story of discovery, astonishment, and the joy of realizing that a tiny detail overlooked by millions has the power to change lives and inspire generations. And that is why the 1971 penny has captured the attention of both seasoned numismatists and curious newcomers who dream of unearthing such a rarity themselves. And as more collectors and investors enter the coin market, the demand for rare era coins continues to grow, driving prices even higher and making coins like the 1971 penny not just collectibles but also lucrative assets and symbols of prestige in the collecting community. And in the end, this coin embodies the incredible truth that mistakes are not always worthless, sometimes they are worth millions, and the 1971 penny is living proof of that truth, shining as one of the most valuable mistakes in American minting history, and a reminder that even the smallest object can hold immense value if it carries rarity, uniqueness, and a compelling story. And this is why the tale of the 1971 1-cent coin valued at $5 million continues to echo through coin collecting circles, inspiring awe, excitement, and relentless searching as collectors and treasure hunters dream of holding in their hands the next great era coin that could turn ordinary pocket change into extraordinary wealth. So if you are fascinated by this story, remember that every coin has a history, and every penny deserves a second look, because the next time you flip a cent from 1971, you might just discover the errors and mistakes that transform it from a humble coin into a priceless artifact of American history and numismatic legend worth a staggering $5 million and beyond. Next, 1973 1-cent USA coin. In this deep dive, we are going to unravel the astonishing story of the 1973 USA 1-cent coin that, despite its humble denomination of just a penny, has shocked collectors and historians by being valued at an unbelievable $4 million because of its rare errors, striking mistakes, and unusual circumstances that have made it one of the most fascinating coins in the history of American minting. And what makes this story even more thrilling is the fact that millions of people handled pennies from 1973 without ever realizing that hidden among them were a few mysterious outliers so rare that they would later command prices worthy of luxury mansions or priceless works of art. And as we peel back the layers of this fascinating coin's history, we must understand how the process of minting sometimes produces accidents and anomalies that, while initially considered defects, end up becoming legendary treasures, because rarity plus desirability is the recipe for numismatic value, and the 1973 penny delivers exactly that in a dramatic way. Now let us step back for a moment and remember the backdrop of the year 1973, when the Lincoln cent was already a staple of American currency, with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse designed by Victor David Brenner, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse designed by Frank Gasparo. And at this time, pennies were still being minted primarily in copper with their iconic reddish hue, but as with every year, the minting presses were pushed to produce billions of coins, and whenever machines are operating at such massive scales, small mistakes are inevitable, yet it is these very mistakes that create the legends we now celebrate. So what makes the 1973 penny so extraordinary and capable of being valued at $4 million? The answer lies in its errors and the range of possibilities that exist in that year. Collectors have identified double die obverse pennies from 1973 where doubling can be seen on the date, or inscriptions, and while minor doubling is relatively common in many years, significant dramatic doubling can elevate a coin's value into the stratosphere. Then there are off-center strike errors where the design is misaligned and part of Lincoln's face or the memorial may be missing, creating a surreal and instantly collectible appearance. In addition to this, transitional errors are rumored where certain 1973 pennies were struck on leftover planchets from previous years or even on planchets intended for foreign coins, leading to variations in metal content, weight, and coloration that distinguish them from the ordinary pennies. The appeal of such coins lies not only in their rarity, but in the mystery of how they slipped through the mint unnoticed and made their way into circulation where an average person might have spent them on a cup of coffee, unaware that they were holding millions in their hands. Stories like this fuel the imagination of collectors because they remind us that great treasures sometimes pass through the hands of ordinary people without recognition, and when we examine the market trends, it becomes clear why a coin like the 1973 penny has skyrocketed to such staggering value. Collectors thrive on rarity and competition, and when an era coin is unique, or one of only a handful known, demand surges to incredible levels. Auction houses witness bidding wars where wealthy collectors and investors compete fiercely to secure these treasures, and the prices escalate rapidly until coins once worth a single cent are fetching millions and becoming headlines around the world. In the case of the 1973 penny, its fabled $4 million valuation is linked to the convergence of factors including its rarity, era-type condition, historical context, and the fierce desire of collectors to own such a piece of American minting history. To understand how such a small copper disc could command such wealth, one must also consider the role of condition, or grade, because coins that remain in mint state with brilliant luster, sharp details, and nowhere from circulation are exponentially rarer and more desirable than those that pass through countless hands and pockets. So when a 1973 penny with a dramatic era survives in pristine condition, it becomes almost mythical in value. Imagine the thrill of a collector spotting doubling on the inscriptions "I in God We Trust" or "Liberty" under magnification, and realizing they have discovered something no ordinary person would have noticed. Or imagine finding a penny with an off-center strike so severe that Lincoln's portrait is partially missing, giving the coin a surreal artistic look, and suddenly what appeared to be just another coin turns into a rare masterpiece. And what drives the excitement further are the possibilities of even more exotic errors, such as die breaks that create raised lines across the coin's surface, blockage errors where one coin impresses its design onto another, resulting in a mirror-like distortion, or clipped planchets where a portion of the metal is missing, creating a crescent-shaped edge. All of these possibilities existed in 1973, and any surviving examples today are numismatic goldmines. Now some experts speculate that the highest valued 1973 pennies may have been struck on long planchets, such as foreign coin blanks that were accidentally mixed into U.S. production lines. Imagine a penny struck on a planchet meant for a dime, or a foreign denomination with the wrong metal composition and weight. This anomaly would make the coin one of a kind and drive collectors wild with excitement. In fact, coins like this have been authenticated in other years, leading to staggering values, and if a 1973 example exists in such form, it would easily justify its $4 million valuation. Another fascinating aspect is how some 1973 pennies were preserved unintentionally by people who simply kept them in jars, albums, or drawers without realizing their importance, and decades later these coins emerged from hiding to be recognized as treasures. This element of chance and discovery adds magic to the story because it reminds us that great value sometimes lies hidden in the simplest of places, waiting for the right eyes to notice and authenticate it. For collectors and treasure hunters, this story inspires constant searching, whether it is checking change at the grocery store or hunting through bank rolls of pennies with the dream that the next great discovery could be in their hands. Right now, the passion for finding such rarities is what keeps the coin collecting community vibrant and full of stories of lucky finds, and the 1973 penny, valued at $4 million, is the perfect symbol of this pursuit of hidden treasure. But beyond its financial worth, the coin carries cultural and historical significance because it represents a unique snapshot of American minting history in the early 1970s, a time of economic change, political events, and evolving minting technology. So each era coin from that period tells a dual story both of the nation and of the minting process itself, making them artifacts of history, as well as collectibles. As we delve deeper into why the 1973 penny is so prized, we realize that the fascination comes not only from the coin itself but from the broader idea that mistakes can be more valuable than perfection. In most industries, flaws lower value, but in coin collecting, errors raise it dramatically because they transform something common into something extraordinary, and the 1973 penny embodies this paradox perfectly, turning a humble 1-cent piece into a multi-million-dollar marvel. And when it comes to auctions, the excitement is palpable when such coins appear. Stories circulate of collectors flying across countries to bid on them, and of prices escalating faster than anyone predicted, because these coins are not just metal, they are symbols of rarity, history, and the human passion for collecting something unique and unrepeatable. And in the years to come, as demand continues to grow for rare coins and more investors treat them as alternative assets, the value of coins like the 1973 penny will only rise, making them not just collectibles but also powerful investments that hold cultural prestige and financial security at the same time. So when we reflect on this story, it becomes clear that the lesson of the 1973 penny is that value is not always about size or face value. Sometimes the smallest objects hold the greatest worth because they carry rarity, uniqueness, and history within them. And this penny teaches us that we should never overlook the simplest of things, because hidden within could be life-changing treasures that alter the course of lives and inspire generations. And so the tale of the 1973 1-cent coin, valued at $4 million, stands as a testament to the wonders of numismatics, the power of rarity, and the eternal allure of hidden treasures that await discovery in the most unexpected places. Next, 1970 61-cent USA coin. We are going to dive deep into the fascinating story of the 1970 60 USA 1-cent coin that, despite its humble face value of just 1 cent, has reached astonishing heights in the world of numismatics by being valued at an unbelievable $2 million because of the rare errors and striking mistakes that occurred during its production at the Denver Mint. And as we unfold this incredible journey, you will see how small imperfections in the minting process can create coins so rare and so sought after that collectors and investors are willing to pay life-changing amounts to own them. And it all begins in 1976, a year of great importance in American history because it marked the bicentennial celebration of the United States, a year when patriotism and national pride were at their peak. And while the special bicentennial designs were issued for quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins, the humble Lincoln cent remained with its familiar design. Yet even though the penny did not get a bicentennial reverse, it was still produced in massive numbers at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But what makes the 1970 60 penny truly remarkable is that hidden among the billions struck, there were a handful with minting errors so unusual and so dramatic that they transformed an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar rarity. Now, before we go into the specifics of the errors, let us remind ourselves of the minting process. Coins are struck by powerful presses using engraved dies to transfer the design onto blank metal discs called planchets. And when everything goes smoothly, the result is uniform coins with precise detail. But when something goes wrong in the process, errors are born, and depending on the nature of the error, the rarity and value can vary from minor collectible to world-class treasure. And the 1970 60 penny is an example of how extraordinary errors can elevate a coin into legend among collectors. One of the most famous categories of errors that may appear on the 1970 60 penny includes doubled dies, where the design elements like the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust show noticeable doubling. And while minor doubling can occur in many years, dramatic doubled dies are extremely rare, and when found in near mint condition they can command huge premiums. Another category is off-center strikes, where the coin design is misaligned, leaving part of the surface blank and creating an eye-catching error that makes the coin unique. Then there are wrong planchet strikes, which are among the most fascinating because sometimes pennies are mistakenly struck on planchets meant for dimes, nickels, or even foreign coins, resulting in weight, size, and metal composition differences that immediately set them apart. And such coins are exceedingly rare and highly desirable among error collectors. Adding to the allure of the 1970 60 penny are transitional errors, where leftover planchets from earlier compositions may have been used for striking in 1976, leading to odd colorations or unusual metallic content that would distinguish these coins from normal circulation issues. Now imagine a coin that combines one or more of these error types. Say a 1970 60 penny with a dramatic double die on a wrong planchet struck off center in brilliant, uncirculated condition. That coin would be so unique that collectors would fight fiercely at auctions to own it, and this is exactly the kind of scenario that has led to the legendary valuation of $2 million for one. Of these extraordinary 1970 60 pennies, it is not just about the error alone but about the convergence of rarity, condition, and the excitement of owning something virtually unique and unrepeatable, and this is why error coins have such incredible power in the numismatic market. Now, to understand the magnitude of this story, let us look at how collectors view rarity and value. In coin collecting, the law of supply and demand is magnified because for certain error coins the supply might be limited to a single known example or just a handful, while the demand comes not only from ordinary collectors but also from wealthy investors, museums, and passionate enthusiasts who want to own a piece of history. When supply is nearly non-existent and demand is global, the price skyrockets into the millions, and the 1970 60 penny fits this equation perfectly. Another factor that pushes the value upward is the grade or condition of the coin, because many pennies enter circulation and quickly show wear, scratches, and discoloration, but when a rare error coin survives in pristine mint state with sharp details and luster intact, it becomes exponentially more valuable, and such coins are often graded and certified by professional services like PCGS or NGC, giving buyers confidence in their authenticity and condition. The story of the 1970 60 penny also resonates with people because of the year itself. 1976 being the bicentennial year holds sentimental value and historical significance, making coins from that year more attractive to collectors in general, and when you add a dramatic error into the mix, the appeal multiplies further. Imagine owning not only a penny from the bicentennial year but one of the rarest pennies ever created by accident at the Denver Mint, and the excitement becomes undeniable. Beyond the technicalities of errors and grading, there are also human stories tied to coins, like the 1970 60 penny stories of people discovering them in pocket change, coin rolls, or old jars without any idea that they are holding a fortune, until one day they decide to look closely or have the coin evaluated, and suddenly their life changes forever because a coin they thought was worth 1 cent is now valued in millions. These discovery stories inspire people around the world to keep searching and examining their change, hoping to stumble upon the next great treasure, and this sense of possibility is one of the reasons coin collecting remains such a popular and enduring hobby. So what kind of error specifically could justify a $2 million valuation for a 1970 60 penny? Experts suggest that the most valuable examples include dramatic double die obverse with clear doubling visible on the date and inscriptions, wrong planchet strikes, especially if the coin was struck on a dime or foreign coin blank, and major off-center strikes combined with full sharp details that show both the error and the design in stunning clarity. Also, die break errors or cut errors, where pieces of the die broke off during striking, leaving raised blobs or missing portions of the design, can add to the rarity and uniqueness of a coin. Each of these error types alone is valuable, but when combined with the historic year 1976 and the Mintmark D for Denver, which had its own unique production runs, they become irresistible to collectors. The allure of such coins is also heightened by auction stories, where rare error coins routinely fetch 6 and 7 figures and sometimes shock the numismatic world with unexpected record breaking sales. When a coin like the 1970 60 penny appears, the bidding wars become legendary, and the final price realized often exceeds even the most optimistic estimates, because passion and competition drive collectors to extraordinary lengths to secure a unique prize, and it is this competitive energy that pushes coins like the 1970 60 penny into the multimillion-dollar category. Now, consider the symbolism of this coin for a moment. It is small, humble, and ordinary looking to most people, yet hidden within its details is a story of mistakes that became miracles, and this paradox fascinates people across cultures because it shows that even flaws can become treasures when placed in the right context. The 1970 60 penny teaches us that perfection is not always the key to value. Sometimes imperfection is far more precious, and that lesson resonates not only in coin collecting but in life itself. And as collectors continue to search and dream, the legend of the 1970 60 penny worth $2 million continues to inspire, reminding us that treasure can be found in the smallest and most unexpected places. So whether you are a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about coins, the story of this penny should encourage you to look closely at every coin you handle, because you never know when a tiny copper disc could reveal itself to be a fortune hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right person to notice and recognize its true worth. And with that, the 1970-60 penny takes its place among the most extraordinary rarities in American history, forever remembered as a coin that transformed mistakes into multimillion-dollar miracles.